Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing one of my favorite timepieces of all time, and one of my very favorite three-hand time-only watches. This is the 2007 to present Vacheron Constantin Historiques Chronometre Royal, the 1907. The timepiece dedicated to the centennial of the original Chronometre Royal and the first ever Chronometre Royal with an in-house caliber. This is a mighty combination of Geneva seal finish and a COSC chronometer certification. Rarely do you find these in tandem, and rarely within the bounds of Geneva. The timepiece on my wrist, 39mm in red gold, is handsome and flush. At 9.4mm thick, this is a slender watch for an automatic. It's also nicely constrained across the wrist with a very wearable 46mm lug-to-lug span. You can see that the teardrop tuck of the lugs makes them even more amenable to a small wrist. I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13 to 13.5 centimeters circumference. The spacing between the lugs is a conventional 20mm, and you will note that if you want to accessorize, 20mm is the size you'll purchase, but Vacheron has bestowed this watch with a fitting accessory set in terms of clasp and strap. You'll also appreciate that the lugs are drilled relatively close to the case, and in order to prevent any impediment to the motion of the strap, Vacheron uses a curved spring bar, so if you have that small wrist, you can pull the strap straight down without it stiffly fixing itself against the case flank. I mentioned a high grade of material, and that's what you get here. Alligator leather on both sides, small round scale on the bottom, and as you can see, large rectangular scale with a folded edge, monotone stitch, and dark brown coloration on the top. Gator on both sides means the strap will last longer. More expensive to make, but that's integrity from Vacheron. You can see that there is a double deploying clasp, and it gives you extra security by fixing the buckle in place using a screw rather than a pin. You can see the Maltese cross motif externally as well as internally, and internally two different finishes, polish and media blasting. Impressive stuff, and the double folding clasp is small wrist friendly in a way that a single fold never really can be. Rolling back to the case, you can see though it's simple, it's surprisingly nuanced, as there is a graceful first quarter 20th century integration of lug and case profile with a little bit of that Vacheron lug design flair that we associate with the brand. From a design standpoint, one of the few real styling traditions of Vacheron. They don't have the iconic designs like the Calatrava, the Nautilus, and the Royal Oak that you'll find at Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe, but they do have a tradition of stylish lugs, and that continues here. Polished lug hoods, and you will note how exquisitely these lugs taper at their end. They're polished on their hoods, they're satin finished on their flank, and I love the little undertuck. The bezel itself is broad, domed, and all of high polish. You'll also note the differential finish with polish between the lugs themselves. The dial is simple and straightforward. It has a little bit of the character of early 20th century wristwatches, but also Vacheron pocket watches, and that's by design. You could see poire style hands or pear-shaped hands with a 1900s first quarter stylized Arabic numeral set that is simply exquisite on a dial best described as a matte white. It's not quite silver, it does truly feel like a black on white dial with a lovely bob counterweighted oxidized seconds hand that extends all the way out to the minutes and seconds track. Note the needle-like extension of the minutes hand. God is in the details here, and there are quite a few. Note the vaulted script declaring this part of the Chronometre Royal family. That is another vintage cue that harks back to the early 20th century. The script on the dial that traces the arc of the dial. Of course, the watch incredibly handsome, but it is also incredibly accurate, and that starts with the hacking seconds function, something you rarely see on Vacheron and Patek watches. Turn it all over and you can see what's going on here. This is a watch, and I'm going to pop everything open so you can see to advantage, that includes a rare chronometer certified Geneva Hallmark movement. The movement is known as the caliber 2460 SCC, and you will note the highly stylized and unique 22 karat rotor that Vacheron equips with this model. It's a combination of satin finish, mirrored beveling on its edge, and then media blasting over its center. Rather than using the more common 21 or 18 karat winding mass, they spare no expense and use 22 ceramic rotor bearings and unidirectional winding for high winding efficiency. It's adjusted in 5 positions, not just like a chronometer, but as a chronometer. It's a 27 joule, as you can see, Geneva Hallmark grade automatic movement that beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, hacking seconds. It is quite slender and water resistant down to 30 meters. The 27 joule movement is all Vacheron with a 40-hour power reserve. This is a watch that makes enjoyment of high horology absolutely effortless. Matchless history, impeccable precision, gorgeous, eternal design, and of course, Geneva Hallmark finish. This watch, the Chronometre Royal, one of the rarest modern Vacherons, has a rare combination of traits. A timepiece I adore, and I hope you do too. See it and make the dream happen on the Watchbox.